Hey, 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 happy Friday. Happy Good Friday, right? It's Good Friday, you all. So I pray that you all have had an amazing day thus far and you're going into the weekend like, you know what? He is risen. He is risen. He died on the cross for us and all those amazing things, whatever that looks like for you during this resurrection weekend, spending time with family, social distancing, wearing your mask, all those amazing things, traveling mercies, whatever that looks like. And so, look, you all, welcome back. Welcome back to what? The Effort series, the Effort Show. And we have another amazing guest with us on this Good Friday, right? What a good time to be up here on the Effort Show on a Good Friday. So, look, if this is your first time ever seeing me, ever hearing me, and you're like, who in the world is this energetic ball of, who is she? Right? I am Carlika Katrina Basnight-Menendez. Yes, all of that. And of course, I'm excited about this series, you all, that we started on March the 8th. Yes, we have been going live broadcasting since March the 8th, and we've had a different guest just about every day, except a few. I was up there, but why not? Why not? And so what is ethic? Meaning faith it, face it, and fulfill it. And so if you haven't got your ethic merchandise, your ethic, I've been talking so much, you all, I have to keep sipping this hot tea over and over a couple of times out the day. And guess what I'm drinking it out of, right? Sipping it out of my own ethic mug. And so look, go ahead to www.carlika.com, grab your merchandise. If you want to join the ethic squad and you're like, I want to represent too, I want an ethic shirt, go ahead and grab yours right at carlika.com. I'm going to put that up for you right there. And so our guest on tonight, you all, and I'm excited. And I've been asking them 5 things, but I'm going to wait till I bring her on. But I'm going to get a few things right on out the way. Look, so that's your gear. If you're saying, you know what, I want to face it. I want to face it. I want to fulfill it. Fulfill what? Your purpose. Why? Because I can't do it. Our guests can't do it. Your mama and daddy can't do it. Only you can do it, right? Only you can fulfill your purpose. But you may say, hey, I want to get around a community of women who are praying, a community of like-minded individuals who are saying, you know what, we're going to pray for you. We're going to push you, and we're going to praise and celebrate you. There's the link right there. Women who pray, okay? Are you a woman who prays? Type it in the chat. I am a woman who prays. Yes. Who am I? Carlika Katrina Basnight-Menendez, and I am a woman who prays. And so look, you all, we have our first book project launching this summer, right? And you want to go ahead and get in. And I know what you really care about is, what is this investment that I have to do to be in this book project? $100. You heard me right. That's why I put it out there. I don't need you to have to go to a link and scroll all the way down looking for the investment, because I know that's what you want to know. What is the investment? What am I sewing into myself, right? $100. And you all, the book project is already international. We have international authors joining the project. God gave me the idea. I'm just the vessel. I'm just doing it like he told me to do it. So if you're saying, I want to get in, come on over to Women Who Pray. All the information is right there, or just inbox me and I'll get you the information ASAP. You understand me? Just like that. If you have not shared the video out, go ahead and share this broadcast. It's going to take you like 2 seconds. Right? And some of you all probably move faster than that. So maybe 1 second. But whatever you do, hit the share button. As you come on, say hey, hi, hello, say something. Let us know where you're tuning in from as well. Lastly, guess what, you all? April 19th, it is going down. So I hope you are ready. Okay? You know the old song, we ready. Be ready. Look, that's the Epic Boot Camp, April the 19th. And if you go to my Instagram stories and Instagram reels, you're going to see some testimonials from our boot campers stating, you know what it has done for them. So if you just like being stagnant and you like being frustrated, then this is not for you. But if you're ready to take action, you're ready to say, you know what, I know there's more to me than this, and I'm ready to take the steps. I'm ready to take some leaps. I'm ready to see some changes and transformation in my life, then you want to join the boot camp. And we have a Good Friday deal going on right now for the first 25 people. I have no hidden agenda, but go to my Instagram and you'll see the post. And if you're not following me, guess what? Carlika_Inso. And so let's bring our phenomenal guest on. Hey, Selena, what's going on? you all, Selena has been here just about every single day. So I appreciate those who are just like, you know what? I'm enjoying this. Now she gonna be up here one day. I'm gonna just put that on out there. Selena, you signed up yet? Look, I'm just calling her out. But let's bring our guest on. And I'm probably going to say her name all kinds of wrong. So I probably should wait, let her say her name, and then I do the repeat of it, right? But I'm going to go for it, okay? Shana. I probably said that all wrong. And I ain't even going to try the last name, you all. I've been trying to practice it, and I'm just like, Gourdine. So let's just bring our guest on. Because I probably jacked that all up.
It's okay. It's the norm. Everybody tends to pronounce it wrong. It's actually Sheena. My mom did it. She made it. She spelled it like Shana, but pronounced the A as an E.
Mom.
Yeah, mommy did it.
Where mommy at? Because get her on the phone.
South Carolina.
Mommy, I'm gonna have to call you. So Sheena, because I want to make sure I be saying it right. I don't want to be saying the wrong name all night long and be like, Carlika, that ain't it. But it's Sheena. I got it now. And pronounce your last name.
Dine.
See, I got that.
Look, without, because it's French, without doing the whole R and rolling, you can say good and dine. Good dine.
Good dine.
Good dine. Made it a little easier.
We're going to just,
that's how I break it down.
We're going to go with the girl Sheena, okay? Okay, because look, I told you, I was like, okay, so let me break out these genetics real quick.
It's okay.
Welcome, Sheena. Welcome. I'm excited to have you. How are you doing on this Friday?
I'm good. Today was a rest day for me, so I'm good. The kids didn't have school today, so I didn't have to get up at 6:40 this morning. So I got to sleep in some. So today was a self-care day. I relaxed, relate, and release.
I know that. Look, that's what I'm talking about. Look, I love it. It is definitely much needed. Rest is much needed. We busy mamas, entrepreneurs.
Yes.
All the things, just break out the whole list and just really keep rolling. But I'm excited to have you here. Ladies, once again, if you have not shared this video out, go share it out. If you have not spoke or anything and you came up in the room and didn't say nothing, say something with your rude self. Okay. I'm just saying.
Come on in the room and say hello.
It's all in love. And so we've been asking our guests, you know what? How many things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 5 things, right? All of them have extensive bios, and all of us do. Some of us don't even realize how extensive our bios are because a lot of times, and I'm guilty of it, the accomplishments, it's like, okay, yep, I did that, move on. I did that, move on. But now we got to get in the space of celebrating ourselves just a little more, because when you really sit down and start listing your skill set, start listing your accomplishments, start listing things that God even brought you through and over, you like, dang.
Yeah.
Dang, she did that. God did that. And so look, 5 things for Miss Sheena, you all. She is a domestic violence survivor, right? And so we had one conversation. Well, actually, we've had 2 conversations with Sabrina Willis and Dr. Yolanda Jerry on domestic violence, where they're survivors, thrivers as well. And so look, you all, we're going to dive into that too, because once again, we're bringing more awareness, and we can never not talk about it. There are not enough conversations around it. So I commend anyone speaking out about the trauma or the trials and different things in their life is commendable, because it takes a lot of courage, right? It takes a lot of courage to speak out and be vulnerable, just putting it all out there. And so she is an author, you all, author of 2 books, The Mask Behind the Mask. Okay, that's a title all by it. The Mask Behind the Mask, and Unveiled Pieces of Broken Masks. Y'all, these are some juicy titles right here. So we're going to get a little insight. She ain't going to give us too much. Y'all need to go out on these books. So we ain't going to get too deep into it. But we're going to ask a couple of questions about that too. She's a mother of 2 beautiful daughters. How many moms we got out there with beautiful daughters? I know Selena has girls. Have biological daughter and bonus daughter. So I'm excited about that. Lastly, you all, Well, two things. She's a vessel of God to help people learn how to love themselves, change their mindset to become a better version of yourself. Now, you all look, we've been talking about all these things.
Mhm.
Love yourself, becoming better, releasing some things, some people, releasing and giving yourself some grace. And lastly, guess what her favorite color is? I'm not going to tell y'all. I want y'all to put it in the chat. What do you all think her favorite color is? Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. Yes, Selena has 2 daughters and a granddaughter.
Yay.
Yes, girl moms, right? And so, what do you all think her favorite color is? Miss Sheena's favorite color? Type it in the chat, and we'll go back to that a little later on. Because what I'll do, I might give a look at this.
She read that bio. She read that bio you put up.
Right? Where you get
that means she was paying attention, though. That means they was paying attention.
Exactly. So, Serene, you have the color. The color is purple. So, send me your Cash App or something. Let's get you a cup of coffee, cup of tea, a snack, or something for this good
time, right?
Inbox it. So, congratulations, Serene. Purple is the color. Dr. Joe, you right too. Serene was the first one. Dr. Joe says, I have 4 daughters. That is amazing. So, Sheena, once again, welcome. I want to say thank you for your yes. Thank you for saying yes on a Friday afternoon, Friday evening, rather, to say, you know what, I'm going to join this conversation. And so, where do we want to start? Serene said, it's my favorite color too, royalty.
Hey, that's right, royalty. Put that crown on.
Put the crown on. Adjust somebody. Pick it up, dust it off. If you feel like you ain't a queen, pick it up. And so I will take us through this journey because you all want to understand is the Epic series is all about faith and facing your challenge and fulfilling your purpose. And so you said you are a domestic violence survivor. How long were you in that trauma or situation?
Well, what's crazy is I didn't have it once. I had it twice. So I got out of it once and got into a whole nother relationship and got back into it in a different situation. The first situation happened in 2011. It's crazy because I was actually pregnant. I was pregnant with my second kid, and I literally got strangled. I got threw against a cabinet, and I was 7 months pregnant, and I was getting strangled in my kitchen. And I remember thinking, like, I'm not fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my daughter's life that's in my belly. And, as I went through this scenario, never would I thought that the person that, gave me life to have another life in my stomach would have been doing the things that happened. People always show the other faces. With that situation, I left him. But, I was listening to my sorries. I'm still in love. I want to get my family back, etc. The second time it happened, it was in 2012, and he actually strangled me in my living room, and I was holding my daughter. She was maybe about 4 months old, and all I remember is cuffing her to me, trying not to drop her on the floor because she was in my hand while I was getting strangled in the middle of my living room. So my thought was, I don't care if I fall, I don't care if I die, but I need her to stay alive. So I literally remember falling, and I laid her on top of my chest. So I end up on the floor, and I remember coming back to conscious, and I kicked him out. I didn't deal with him anymore. But what was crazy was, how we don't talk about it. We don't deal with the situations. We try to brush it up. We try to handle it ourselves and say, all right, it happened. I don't want to talk about it no more. It's going to be okay, and not want to be judged and not want to talk about it, not want to tell anybody about it. Can't believe this happened. So I decided to just continue life, continue being a mom, carrying on, doing the normal things, trying to, I was with myself for a while. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm ready to go back into the dating life. Let's see what happens. Well, 2014, I got back into a relationship. The relationship was fine for the first 3 years. In the midst of all of that, this 3 years, I was finding out about my conditions because I have 3 different health conditions. So in the midst of me, going through life, I found out that I had polycystic kidney disease. Wow. So that's the first thing that hit me. So then after that, I found out that I had ankylospondylitis, which is arthritis in my spine that goes to the rest of my joints and rheumatoid arthritis.
Wow.
Then the next year, I found out that I had fibromyalgia. So this is about 2016 at this point. And in the midst of this, I ended up having to have reconstructive surgery on my hand, on my thumb, where they took a ligament out of my arm and reconstructed my thumb because it was like basically like where the joint is, it was bone on bone. So I had to get it reconstructed because the arthritis was already coming to my left hand. So dealing with all of that, being a single mom, then now the toxicness starts. Now the person's starting to change and becoming a total different person. Now, mind you, I'm dealing with my own mental with all the health conditions.
Right.
That's a lot already in this.
Let's back up. Let's back up. Y'all look, she just gave it all to us. Like this what I would look, this the trauma, this the business. So when we back up, let's back up to 2011.
Mm-hmm.
That was your first situation.
Yes.
2012. So like possibly a year later.
Yeah, like it was 2011 September. I had my daughter in November, and it happened again in May. And I'm like, okay, no, this is not okay, and this is not what I signed up for. I have 2 kids, and this is not how I want them to live. This is not what I want for them. Like I didn't grow up like this, and this is definitely not what I'm trying to have for them. Like, what is this?
You said that even during that time when you was being strangled, like on your couch,
the first time when I was strangled in the kitchen, or the one time in the living room?
No, in the living room you had the baby. You was holding the baby.
I was in the living room and I was holding her in my hand.
And you said your words were, you were thinking to yourself that I don't care if I die. I just want to save my child. But even thank God that both of you all were okay.
Mm-hmm.
But in the event that, you know what, you didn't make it, was there ever a thought that who's going to take care of my child? Who's going?
All that flashed through my head. All of that went through my head, like, and that's why I fought so hard in the midst of that fight, holding her and fighting him with one hand.
Wow. So you all, let's yeah, to me, because like that's a lot. Yes, it is. Because when we timeline of 2011 to 2016, and so much transpired in really a short period of time. So domestic violence situation twice, being strangled twice, just in different parts of the house.
I didn't even tell you the rest of 2016 with the other toxic relationship, but yeah.
Wow. So then let me ask you this then, because then we would have to go, and I'm sure you've done this in your healing process. What was going on within you that you kept getting into these toxic situations?
That is exactly what I asked myself when it happened again with a different situation. I went to therapy, and it was me allowing people and just letting them be comfortable and learning not to say no. And I wanted to feel, loving people in the wrong places that I shouldn't have been loving them at. Allowing people in the situations that I shouldn't accept things for. When you have daddy issues and your daddy wasn't there and you grew up with just your mom and looking for love in all the wrong places and it just wasn't, and you accepted certain things.
Oh, that's right there, Shana, because I just listened to Prophet Kirvin Smith on Instagram. I was just going through. But what he said, he was like, ladies, we shouldn't even be looking for love.
Absolutely.
Let me say that again. He was like, ladies, we shouldn't be looking for love. He who finds a good, who finds a wife. So a lot of times, but it even goes for the men too, where we're hopping, people are hopping from relationship to relationship. And a lot of the trends that the picture of the relationships is the same thing, just with a different person.
Yep.
Just with a different person. And so when do we come to the point to say, you know what? Yeah, they have some issues, but I got some issues that I can end up in these same situations. It may be a relationship with a partner. It can be with a job. It can be anything. The consistency, whether it's good or bad, we have some consistent behaviors.
Yes. And the thing I had to learn, or shall I say, I learned through this growth process is accountability. The part that I played in it, the things that I allowed around me that I should have never settled for.
Yeah. But that's all of us at some point in time in our life, where when we look back in hindsight, when we look back, it's just sometimes we even think like, how did I even allow?
Listen, I've had those questions.
How you watch TV and you be like, are you crazy? What is wrong with you?
Yes.
Realizing that sometimes we are in situations and until we're out of them, it's like, wow, I allowed myself to get to this point. I allowed myself to get this low. I allowed someone else to do this to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thank God.
Yes, thank God. Lord Jesus, thank God.
Right. Like, thank God. Like we talk about these things and, everyone is sharing their stories and their journey because it took faith to fight.
Yes.
Right? Ain't no one tell you that faith was just going to be like, oh, okay. Oh,
here you go.
The Bible says to fight the good fight of faith. Like, you have to have some tenacity. You have to have some grit. You have to say, you know what? I'm not going to lay here. And this could be for any situation. I'm not just going to lay here and die. I'm not just going to lay here and let someone just keep stumping on me. This could be in business. This could be at your employer. We have to stand up for ourselves.
Yeah.
And of course, the Bible says, if God's before me, who can be against me? So we thank God because Shana is here and it's other women out there, but she's here because some people didn't make it out these situations, and definitely not 1 or 2 times or 3 times.
Listen.
Right. So thank God for your mental. Thank God for the healing that you went through. Thank God that you said, let me go to therapy and let me take responsibility.
I had to.
Kicker for me because I'm like, a lot of people don't want to take responsibility.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
I'm sure.
To actually sit in front of the mirror because as I took accountability, I have to forgive myself. And I didn't forgive myself for other people. I forgave them and me for myself and my own peace.
Wow. And it's so many people holding unforgiveness, still angry at themselves for allowing themselves. Joyce says, yes, that is a question I kept asking myself. What is it in me that has attracted this toxic experience? That's deep.
It is. It's real deep. And it takes a lot of work. When I say when you go to those rooted to the tutors, you're not just scratching the surface. You're going like really into who you are and what you're dealing with and why. You have to ask those hard questions that we don't want to ask ourselves.
Right.
We're afraid to get the answers to. But if you really want to move to the next cycles and the growth, you got to ask yourself these questions. You got to do the work because if not, it's going to continue. It's going to be a continuing cycle. If you don't change your mindset, you're going to get the same answer. It's not going to change. You're going to have the same situations. And I just was not trying to go through this circle again. Me and God had a conversation like, all right, tell me, look, let's talk. We're going to have to figure out what over here need to do. Because
you know what, Shana, more people, I do believe if more of us just take the time to say, you know what, instead of looking at other people and how what they should be doing and how they can change, because we good with that.
Yeah, of course,
all the advice.
Yeah, we good to read everybody else instead of reading ourselves. We can give other people advices. We can tell them what they need to do with themselves. And long and behold, in that closet that you got hidden behind in that mess that we be sitting in when we go in them doors, it's still mess. And you haven't cleaned it up yet.
Right. But we have to be willing to get to the root cause. Absolutely. And I think that's a lot of the blockage for so many people. We don't want to get to the root cause. We want to keep doing this.
I want to scratch the surface. You want to you put a bandage on it because it's bleeding a little. Okay, let's cover it back up, but you're not healing nothing that's going on really. Right. So you have to take those steps to go through the process. And I had to listen. You ready to hear the rest of the story and then we can get into the book?
I got my tea. You go head on.
All right. So like I said, in 2016, the toxicness started again. In this process, I end up getting strangled in my sleep. I end up getting dragged up the stairs by my hair. I end up getting locked in a room. I end up fighting on a staircase with my kids, trying to get them because they like the situation afterwards. I was in the kitchen and I went upstairs to go get my kids because I'm like, you know what? I need to leave. You know how when you just that energy and you like, I need to go. And I guess they realized what I was doing after the fact, and I was trying to get my kids downstairs. So they end up coming to stand in between me and my kids. And that's one thing is going to be a whole nother situation because that's my kids. We're not playing these games. So I end up getting my kids from behind my abuser, and I had them go downstairs. And in the process, I'm going downstairs, and they end up grabbing my hoodie and ended up wrapping my hair in it, which tried to pull me back upstairs. And I'm trying to go to my kids to go out the house. So to fight just to leave your house is just too much. And about 2017, January 6th, was definitely the top of the ice pick to whereas I couldn't do this no more. My life, because I was praying for weeks and praying to God in the bathroom, like, listen, I got to get out this. I need your help. And we gonna have to figure out what the problem is after we get out this situation. But I need to be and get out of this alive. So I literally got out of the situation, leaving the house, but the turmoil didn't stop. I got a restraining order. All this happened, mind you. I got attacked in church at one point because they followed me to the church. Came in the church and attacked me in church after I came from the altar. So they got arrested, got a restraining order. With that restraining order, they still tried to stalk me. They stalked me for a good 6 months. It went to whereas everywhere I went to the meetings I had, they remembered my schedule, so they were popping up everywhere. So eventually, after that 6 months, after I was going back and forth to the cops and going back and forth to the whole situation, they finally got arrested.
Well, then let me ask you this, Sheena, because we hear a lot of people sometimes getting restraining orders, right? Mm-hmm. But in all actuality, how because what it sounded like is the restraining order ain't do too much.
No, it was just another piece of paper, and that was the problem too. And that's why I'm working with other people to try to change these laws, because you giving us a piece of paper, but it's not protecting us. Because if we come to you and telling you stuff, not all the time do they even arrest the person that you're telling them the issues that's going on. It was to where it was a full restraining order to where they wasn't supposed to be around me. They wasn't supposed to text me. They wasn't supposed to call me. And the person was doing all of that. I was reporting it. It was a lot. And within the next year, finally, they got arrested. The situation got handled. And, I really had to advocate for myself. It wasn't like, you're not playing with my life. I got things to do.
Because we see this, we literally see this on Lifetime, right? Yeah. We see this stuff on Lifetime, but y'all, this is like real Lifetime, right?
Yeah, like real Lifetime. So whereas my homegirl that used to live next door to me was like, yo, they're watching you drop your kids off. So it's like, okay, so now what do I do? How do I protect that? How do I protect them? How do I get this situation under control? So, I moved from the house that I was in. I changed my car. I changed my number. It was a whole life changing.
Like I was trying to say, that was almost like that was almost like, the movies that we see with people changing identity.
Mm-hmm. A little bit. It was. It was
just doing legal stuff. We doing legal stuff. But you are listening to this. It just makes you realize that, you know what, these laws and different things that are in place. And it brings me into the thought of, even when it comes to child protective services and different things, are the people really being protected? Because if her abuser was able to still do all of the things that he shouldn't have been doing, and even with her reporting it, and because we've seen, I know in all of our areas, we've heard, we've seen, they even known someone where I remember an incident that I saw on a few incidences that I know even personally, where the person where they followed and was stalking and different things. And finally they killed these individuals.
These people. And that was my thought. Like, my thought was, you know what? My life's on the line. So how are you going to do to save your life and save your kids?
Nobody. And I love what Dr. Jill said. She said, but God, you all, that was literally a hedge of protection, because can you even imagine someone going through this over and over again, not knowing when someone going to pop up, not knowing, you know, she said he attacked her at church. This is why I said the other night, let's quit playing around like things don't happen in church, right? Let's quit playing around like people that's right in the body of Christ is not getting abused. They're not being sexually assaulted, because these things happen in the church. He went to the church and attacked her. Come on.
Yeah.
So you all, this just goes to show, number one, we have to be watchful. Number two, it's good that you kept reporting, because you did at least you did your part. The only issue I have with that is that piece of paper won't do nothing.
No. And then that's when I got into a program that was, you know, a domestic violence program, which then helped me for into a safer place without having to really relocate out of this area. It was just, it was crazy. It was scary, because to think every time you walk outside, it was uncomfortable.
Right. That's what I was just sitting here thinking. And that's why I probably look like I'm just thinking like every day. How many people are always watching their back every single day, not knowing, okay, you're gonna pop up here, you're gonna pop up there, because he ain't had no regards. He ain't care about complaining, or he ain't care about going to jail either. But wow, nobody but God.
And definitely nobody but God.
Right, that's nobody but God. So when we move from that trauma and you went to therapy, you healed, you gained your life back without living in fear, because y'all, that you would have been living just in fear.
I'd have been in the house, don't want to be social, don't want to do nothing. I wouldn't even be on this interview right now.
I was getting ready. I'm like, back in the day, I would look, ma'am, no, this wouldn't be safe. This wouldn't be safe. But nobody but God. That's all we can say, is nobody but God. And so as we transition and continuing on your journey, is this why your books were birthed, or give us some insight on the birthing of your book babies?
Listen, my book babies was birthed in the midst of the storm, because the poems that I wrote in my first book, I was writing as I went through. That's what was kept keeping my mental stable in the midst of this, without driving myself crazy or being just in the midst. Because, you know, as all that's going on, like I said, I still was dealing with my own health issues, because in the midst of all that, I was trying to get my health issues under control.
Right.
So that got 2 kids that I'm still trying to raise and trying to blind them from what's going on.
Right.
And in the midst of that, it was a lot. So I then, after going through therapy, 2018, I decided, you know what? I'm tired of being silent. It's time to speak out. It's time to talk about it. It's time to have it discussed.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's back up. In 2018, y'all, she said, I'm going to break the silence. This started 2011. So why were you silent?
It was more not ready to talk about it, the judgment, the situation. You know, I wasn't comfortable in my own skin yet. I wasn't ready to take my masks off, and that's where the title came from. Because the amount of faces that we put on to be normal into society, you never know what nobody's dealing with. Like, I carry the face of shame. I carry the face of judgment. I carry the face of going through domestic violence. I carry the face of the different chronic diseases I was dealing with. I was carrying the disease, you know, the mass of being on public assistance, the mass of being a single mom, because that's not what my plans was, but God had another reason. And I had to go through all these masses as I sit through the process of writing all my work. and realize, like, you know what? This story wasn't for me.
Not
This
at all.
journey wasn't for me. I had to go through it to be able to take other people through it, from their tragedy to their triumph. And if I didn't go through it, I wouldn't be able to help nobody heal through their path. So it's like, all right, because I was asking the questions, why me? Why am I getting these diseases? Why I'm going through this? And then I had to stop asking these questions, why me? I had to start understanding that it wasn't for me. I had to understand that my testimony was somebody else's journey. And I had to be there to testify that, you have to keep fighting. You have to keep having that willpower to not quit. You have to, keep going, that understand that we all have a past and it doesn't define you. We have to continuously understand that the journey that we are tested with and that we go through in the storms is always a message and a purpose from it. And it's a lesson for us to grow. And sometimes we continue to go through that mess because we haven't cleaned it up the first time we went through it. So I learned a couple of times, like, all right, we got to clean this up. We got to get this together. I can't do this no more. That test was hard. Listen, we went through the test the first 2 times. I didn't listen. So, okay, I'm sitting and I'm listening. We're going to understand what's going on. Because
I ain't getting ready to do this for the next 10, 20 years. This is going to be my life. And I love that, because a lot of times, a temporary situation, and when we speak of temporary doesn't mean that it's 5 days, 10 days. Temporary is still, even if it go on for a year, that's still temporary.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes we take a temporary situation and we make it a lifetime. We make it our lifestyle. We make it, like, this is who I am. This is a part of me. I ain't letting it go. I'm not releasing it. And it's really a temporary situation. Think about times where some of us have had financial struggles. It was a temporary situation, right? Unless we decided that I'm never going to change my money habits. I'm never going to save no money. I'm never going to invest. I'm not going to do nothing different. Then that's when it just becomes a permanent lifestyle. If you have a lifestyle of being broke, because that's probably what you're confessing, that I'm broke.
That's what you're manifesting in the air.
Then that's what you're going to get.
Absolutely.
Right? If we're always saying that I'm sick, then guess what? 9 times out of 10, you're probably always having some type of ailment.
Yes. And that's why I tell people now, I was diagnosed with the disease. It does not define me. I just go through it. And, I'm going to claim that it's going to be healed. And I don't look like what I've been through. Because, that's part of what my title, my book came from too, the mask behind the mask. Because if you see me, you would never know that I deal with these things unless you go inside under my mask and talk to me and understand the pain and the chronic illness and the stuff that I have to go through. But I don't walk in that. I walk in my testimony that I might have gone through it, but it didn't keep me stuck. Because I could have sat in my bed and be depressed and like, oh my God, why am I getting these diseases? What, I hurt.
But you decided to say, you know what? There's purpose out of my pain. You decided to say, you know what? Let me write, because there's healing in writing. And not only that, I'm healing, but I'm gonna have someone else down the road, even when I'm not here. They're gonna be able to heal. They're gonna be able to start their process. They're gonna be able to start their journey and different things. But when we get in that rut, I just call it a rut of depression, different things like, woe is me. Okay, yes, that happened. It did, this girl, it happened. Yes. Or even in the process, we have to understand, even in the process of the healing of whatever manifested, we still have here where we are and where we're going, and there's stuff in between. So what are we doing in between the gap of the manifestation of the blessing or the healing or whatever come into pass? What I've noticed, too many people don't even talk right in between that time. Or we get in front of different people, and depending on the crowd, depending on who you're around, I'm healed. I'm this. And you get around someone else, oh, child, I'm just so sick. I'm not gonna make it.
That's that mask they putting on. Yeah, that's that mask. And that's why that book is titled The Mask Behind the Mask, because it can fit for anything. Because you put face on to compensate for the things that you don't want to talk about, or that you feel that you're lacking and stuff like that. So with that book, I put it together. It's a book of poetry and spoken words that I put for people to love all their imperfections despite of what they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Because we all have imperfections. There's no perfect person. But you gotta be okay and be comfortable in your own skin.
Yes.
You accept what's going on in the imperfections that you have. Like on the back of the book, I was like, you can laugh, you can cry, you can be sad, you can be happy. But what are you doing behind that mask after all that?
Come on.
How are you stepping into your day? Are you, giving yourself affirmations to empower yourself? Are you then, telling yourself, yes, I went through this, but I overcame it. And right now, this is where I am. I'm not where I used to be, but I am in a different space now. And it's, and that's what that's about. It's about, you've had this space for so long. When are we going to start taking it off and be our true self and understand who you purposely are? Like, because we are all here for a reason. So it's time to figure out what your job is. It's time to figure out what the vessels of your part to everything else that's going on. What are you going to do? And that's what my growth was. First it was my forgiveness. Then it was me making myself happy. I was not looking for happiness nowhere else. And in this process, I learned that people got to stop looking for the happiness. We have to give ourselves happiness. And when somebody else comes and they come with happiness, we weren't looking for
it's a bonus when you can connect with other people. But your true happiness, you make your own. I love it. Make your own self happy. Because if you're not happy with you, how dare you expect someone else to?
And that's facts. And I took myself on dates. Like, I went through this process of dating myself. Like, I did my pros and cons of myself, what I like, what I don't like. Like, I really did some real searching. Like, I literally was like, all right. Because if I can't like certain stuff for myself, how am I expect somebody else to accept?
But you know what? Most people don't even know what they want. They don't know what they like. They don't really know what they dislike. And don't look for the happiness. You should be so happy with yourself, even with the poor decision making and everything. We have to quit beating ourselves up. And when we give ourselves some grace, when we forgive ourselves and embrace everything and who we are, embracing who we are, then you're like, you know what, girl, I love you so much. And I love what you said. Right. Take yourself out to dinner. You know, people so many times, even during holidays and all, I just get so depressed. And I'm like, why? I was single at one time too. And I don't remember no holiday that I was depressed. I was not depressed on Valentine's, Christmas, or nothing. Because guess what? I didn't need no one else to buy me no gifts. Whatever I wanted to get,
I was going to buy myself. Absolutely.
And don't get me wrong, ladies. I ain't saying that someone else giving you a gift is not nice and all of that. But if that is your main focus,
that's when it becomes
about your own gift.
Yeah. Like, I went to concerts by myself. I went to concerts by myself. I went out to dinner. I went to the movies. And I had people ask me, they was like, you really going to a concert? Yeah, I'm going to this concert. And I'm going to go. I'm not sitting and waiting on this one here. Either you're going or you're not. I put it out there. You don't go. Hey, I see y'all later. I'm going.
And y'all can see the pictures afterwards. And you can ask me how it was. And I did the whole 411, the whole thing. Oh, girl, it was I had an amazing time. But we have to get back to the root of who we are.
Yes.
Right? A lot of people, we've lost ourselves. Whether it's because, we can't keep blaming, when I had kids, I just put myself on the back burner. Well, quit putting yourself on the back burner. You putting yourself back there, not the kids.
Right.
They ain't asked to be here.
They sure didn't.
You putting yourself on the back burner, but when we put ourselves in front, right, and we don't have to feel guilty about it. A lot of times people are feeling guilty. No, you don't have to feel guilty about not cooking. You don't have to feel guilty about going to buy yourself something. If it's within your budget, if it's within your means, because we use wisdom in every aspect of our life. But love on yourself like never before. Joyce always says, I'm crushing on me. I'm crushing on myself. If you ain't your biggest cheerleader, if you're not
wrong. Listen, I love all this.
Me too, honey. All this and my role.
All this. Look, stop playing.
Y'all want to see this little not no 2-pack? Y'all ain't ready. I ain't gonna like that. I ain't gonna do y'all like that. Let's hop on over to this chat real quick. So Serene says, child, send yourself some roses. You better say that. Self-love is a beautiful thing. Yes, Joyce. Type in Joyce always said, I'm crushing on me. Ladies,
Yes.
I'm crushing on me. Because self-love is outside of God's love, number one. But if you love God, right, his love should permeate you so deep and within that you love yourself. And when that happens, now you're able to genuinely, unconditionally love other people, even when they do you wrong.
Yep.
God's love, loving yourself, and you push that out to the world, you push it to other people. Come on. Selena says, yes, we lose our. Lyrical says, come on now. Yes, the rose. Better, yes, Serene. Come on. Look, I ain't no 8.
I love all that.
And my husband a personal trainer.
Hey,
I ain't ready for no 2-pack or nothing yet. Dorothy says, hello, ladies. Yes, Dorothy says, I make life all about me. You all, we do not have to feel bad about it. See, we don't have to feel bad about it. I say it's God, Jesus, and then it's me. Yep. I understand. I'm aiming to please him. And I do what he's called me to do. And he's pouring into me. Then I'm able to pour into other people. Then I'm able to pour into my spouse. I'm able to pour into my children. I'm able to pour into women all over the world. But if I'm not right, and I'm not being transparent, and I'm not being authentic, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 masks on.
It's like your cups is running low because you're not filling
it. They ain't even low, Sheena. They ain't low. They empty. They empty. Some of us walking around here with empty cups. You don't have no tea. You don't have no water. You just dry.
Just dry. That how they say a dead man walking.
Exactly. You dry. Now is your time. Today is your day to do what? Get an effort attitude. Because that's what it took. Effort attitude. Faith in it. It took faith. It took her facing. Come on, ladies. Facing. Her challenges and dealing and healing. Not focused on pointing at other people and what they did, what they didn't do. But she knows time to focus on her to say, you know what? Why am I attracting these people? Why am I allowing or tolerating this type of foolishness, abuse, mental, verbal, physical? Why? What's up with me? Come on, like she said, Jesus. Let me get Jesus on the phone. Hold on.
We gotta have a conversation.
Jesus, you on the main line?
Tell him what you want, and I have to tell him.
So Jesus, what you say? Oh, okay. Okay, you said get it together.
Yes.
All right, Lord, we getting it together. Call him.
Look, he said, go sit in that mess and answer them questions that you need to answer. Stop playing with it. And be ready.
Sheena, they calling the wrong people.
Yeah, they calling everybody else except Jesus.
Right.
Listen, they better call on that main line because listen, you're gonna need all of that because when I say through that process, I prayed a lot. I'm still praying because it's still a journey, still a growth, but woo.
It's still progress, but we're forever evolving. We're forever becoming. We're forever in transition. The Bible says we go from faith to faith, glory to glory. We go from one level to the next. But some of us are still stuck right at this level by choice.
Yep.
Okay. It ain't by force either. It's by choice. You're stuck at this level because you're choosing to stay stuck. You're choosing to say, you know what? I think I want to move forward, but I don't want to move forward. Like you acting like you mentally ill or something. Like that's real talk.
They're afraid to move out of their comfort zone. They're too comfortable. And one thing I like to say, in order to be successful, you got to get uncomfortable to be comfortable to then be successful. You can't continue in the same comfortability and think something's going to change.
Right. I love saying get comfortable in the uncomfortable. Get comfortable in the uncomfortable. I love being it ain't always fun. No. It ain't always fun. But I like being uncomfortable because I don't like being stagnant.
Yeah, exactly.
I like being stretched. No, it don't always feel good. Yes, I done cried some nights like, who Jesus?
Listen, don't feel bad. I think
stretching me, Lord. I gotta call her back up. Jesus, you
yeah. What's going on?
Jesus, you sure that's what you told me?
Yeah, that's what I told you.
That's you. And he like, yeah, it's me. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going. I'm gonna do it. But we have to be stretched. stretch and it's going to be uncomfortable, but get comfortable in the uncomfortable. We should not want to stay stagnant. We don't even serve a stagnant God, right? He's all knowing. He's all over the place, omnipresent. He's not stagnant. He never sleep nor slumber, but he said, I'll give you sweet rest.
Right.
So while we up worrying, pacing the floor, and well, I can't sleep and I can't do this. Well, you know what? Say something different. I get good rest. Say something different. I get good money. Say something different. I have good company. Say something different in your life and start walking this thing out.
Yeah. And that's how the second book was purposed, which this book was purposed during COVID, because I just released the second book November of last year, on right before my 40th birthday. You know, my thoughts was, listen, if I can't go and turn up for my 40th on somebody's beach, I may as well make money. So I finished unveil the pieces of a broken mask together. And with this book, I had to then put on the life coach hat. I had to then, because the first book I told you had masks on. So now I got to help you break them pieces to understand what you're carrying around, you know, that insecurity, that fear, that baggage, learning to embrace yourself, loving you the right way, the wrong love, you know, just all these different titles to put out of you, like, you know, just for people to start breaking off the masses that they're carrying around. Because the longer you carry around that baggage, the longer it gets heavier. And you wonder why you feel so heavy. It's not the weight you're carrying.
Right. You feel heavy and it breeds sickness.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like, a lot of times, some of the health issues, even in the natural, that a lot of us end up having. Sometimes we don't recognize we don't recognize something, but when you are trying to appear this way and that way and do this and do that, sometimes it's just releasing. Y'all, we gotta release these things. And I know for some, you know, breaking the mask, or when the mask starts to fall apart, some people don't know how to handle that.
Yes, absolutely. And see, in this book, I ask questions. Like, I might say a poem and a spoken word, but after that, then I give them questions for them to answer to themselves. I give them an area for them to journal. I give them affirmations. I give them positive words they can say. I also even give you a whole journal that's in the back of the book with questions to work on yourself in the midst of.
Look, y'all see this link up here, right? Look, she ain't giving y'all too much of the book, because that's what it's about. It's about her supporting. Once again, y'all done heard me say it, and I keep saying it. I get books from other authors and stuff too, but I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna keep saying it over and over again. If you're gonna buy books anyway, why don't you support people that's accessible to you? Why don't you support someone else who's saying, you know what, this is what I've done too. And I have this project, or I have this book, or this product out here. It's about support. Come on, ladies. It's about support. And I know a lot of you all do it. So look, if the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. But if you know someone that's saying, you know what, they really need this book, or this book may even be for you, saying, you know what, I'm ready to start unveiling my true self. I'm ready to get back to my true identity. Not even get back. Some of you never do.
And it's now you relearning what you already was taught that wasn't true to you. You've been faking the funk so long. It's like now you're learning a whole new you.
Yes, let's hop over to this chat. Selena says, again, you have to change your mindset, y'all. When you change your mind and change your thinking, because what you think is what you're going to speak. And whatever you speak is what you're going to do. And whatever you decide to do, not other people, what you decide to do changes the course of your life. That's point blank, period. You change the course of your life. And so Keisha says, yes. Serene says, support. Dr. Joe says, support. Lyrica says, yes, support. Right, ladies? So how can you support right now? Go ahead and hit the share button and type shared in the comments. So I should see a share shared in the comments from Keisha, Lyrica, Serene, Dr. Joe. Look, I'm just calling y'all names, all right? And so go ahead and hit the share button. If you're catching this in the replay, welcome to the EFIT series. What is EFIT? Faith it, face it, fulfill it. And we have our guest Shana up here on tonight. She gave a powerful story of her journey from 2011 to 2018. 2018 is when she started to speak out about the things that happened in her life, about the trauma in her life. Thank you, Lyrica. Thank you, Dr. Joe. Thank you, Serena. I see the shares on in. So that's how we can support right now. Because guess what? Someone else, you don't know what someone else right now. You don't know if someone's dealing with situations right now and feeling like they're worthless, feeling like they're hopeless, crying themselves to sleep. They may even be frustrated, but it may be something on this live broadcasting tonight that they're like, you know what? I just got a little bit of strength. I just got a little bit of hope. I just got a little more faith. I just got a little more grit to say, you know what? I can face this challenge. I just make, you know what? I can fulfill my purpose, right?
Right.
And then they say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get this book, Behind the Mask, because I'm ready to tear down these masks. I'm ready to throw these masks in the trash, in the fire, let it burn, let it burn, let it burn, and be my true self, who God has created.
Absolutely. And in the midst of all that, too, I created the Shana Master Motivation. And that's where I do my motivational speaking, my life coaching, my market branding, my mentoring, my one-on-ones. And, I created that because, a lot of times I started going back to the shelters and, helping women regain their confidence, regain control, regain their characters that they felt that they lost, because a lot of times after they go through the midst of the storm, they feel that they've lost all things. Because I've had people in there that was like, oh, I wanted to go back because of financial, or they wanted to go back. Like, I remember somebody sent me a person and they were like, oh, I think they need help. They have a DV problem, So I called the girl and, she had the nerve, because I told her, I was like, well, why don't you move if, your abuser is still coming in your house, like when you go to the shelter? She told me that she didn't want to give up her furniture that she just bought. I said, wait, so the furniture and the material in your house is more important than your life and your kid? Okay. I'm gonna go and pray about you, and when you're ready, so take that walk and not be materialistic. I gave her some numbers, I gave her some information, and you know how they say you can take a person to the water, but you can't make them drink it,
right?
And that's all I could do, because she was worried about her materialistic.
Just and we have to learn to be okay with where people are.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be okay that sometimes people are not ready.
Yep.
Even though we see that, okay, this situation they really need to get out of, but we sometimes mentally people are just not ready to move. When they get in that space where they're ready, then they're going to do the necessary things. It's the same way with any of us with our businesses or anything. When we really get that mindset of I'm a CEO, I'm an expert, and I'm going after it, and I'm going to focus on one thing, and then another thing will happen, and another thing will happen, and something else will open up. A lot of us don't get started. So now is your time. Today is your day to get started. Whatever that looks like for you, whatever you do, you ain't gonna sit here and do nothing on my watch, okay?
Listen, I remember the first time I met you, so I already know. That was the first Zoom we was having from a whole nother group.
Right. Look, we got to take action, y'all. I'm about action. I don't just talk about stuff. I live it. This is my life, and I ain't changing. And look, this is just who I am. What you see on this live is what you get in person, okay?
Absolutely. And
this is what you get.
Listen, look, you either accept it or reject it. I am. This is me.
Right, and I'm fine with either one. Let's be real about that. I'm very fine with that. It does not matter. But I'm very intentional on what I confess. So I'm always saying that I get yeses. I'm always saying that I have support. I always say that, but I don't wait on a particular person or persons to support. We got to keep it moving, ladies. We got to keep pushing. And so we have about 1 more minute. Shana, I'm going to put her link back up here. You all make sure you all go to that www.theladybehindthemask.com. Ladies, let's take these masks off, right? Let's be who God has created us to be.
Yes.
Authentically, transparently, and unapologetically, wonderfully made women. Right? We can't keep I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, but you want to throw 15 masks on top and layer up.
Right.
No, he's fearfully and wonderfully made you to everyone who tuned in. Serene says, start the vision and allow God to blow on it. You better say
Yes.
that. He will blow so much life on that vision.
Yes. Because when I made this book, he already had a plan for me. Because I wrote the book to put it together. It was one to say, I did this. My kids got to see it. But I wrote it, and then I was on the front of the newspaper. I was on the news because they seen the article out of the newspaper, and I was everywhere else telling the story. So I said, all right, I'm just gonna flow wherever you take me to, and that's where I'm going.
And that's what we do. Once we do this and say, you know what, God, whatever it is you want me to do, I'm just the vessel, and I am here to do it. So, ladies, if this has been good to you, type something in the chat. Put a number 1 in the chat. This has been good to you. Put a number 1. Thank you all for sharing.
Can I throw one plug in before we go?
Hold on, Serene, make sure you send me your Cash App because you got her favorite color was purple. So make sure, because we're going to get you coffee or something now, lunch or something. It's on the F It Squad, okay? And I see the ones coming in, so this has been good. If you have not shared out, go ahead and share it out. Form of support because someone else may need to hear it. Go ahead, Serene.
You said go ahead, who?
Not Serene.
I know what you meant.
I'm looking at her name.
It's all right. I do want to say during COVID, I produced this movie called Through Your Eyes. Right now, it's up for a nomination. It's up for Views Choice Awards. The link is on my page, and I'll actually drop it in this comment. We are trying to get people to vote for us. The voting is till April 24th. So, and it's called Through Your Eyes, The Mask Behind the Mask. And it's a documentary of a domestic violence. And it's of several people, men and women, telling their story on how they survive. I even have my daughter in it. And it's a free movie, so you can watch it on Roku, Fire Stick, all the above.
Y'all, let's say congratulations because that's huge. I'm telling you, God will give you one thing, and sometimes we try to run away from it, and it'd be a whole brand, right? Effort is a whole thing by itself, stand alone, all by itself. And so, look, ladies, they're saying congratulations. So,
thank you.
Thank you so much for saying yes. We appreciate your vulnerability. We appreciate your transparency and taking us through your journey of developing your effort attitude of faith in it, facing it, and fulfilling it. And so, look, they're like, so proud of you. Congratulations. Congrats on the movie. Yes. Congratulations. And much success to it. Much success. That's what we speak. We speak success. We speak blessings over it in Jesus' name. So, ladies, look. This has been another episode. You already know what to do. Drop them efforts in the comments. Let them roll. And while you all are doing that, remember, when you change your perspective, you change your life. Do I need to say that one more time? When you change
for the people in the back.
All the way in the back. Hey,
all the way in the back.
Hey, in the back.
Hey.
You change your perspective, you change your life. I want you all to be safe this weekend. Give God some praise and glory, whether you're virtually or in person. Whatever, He paid the ultimate price for our life, right? He died for our sins. He did it for us. And so that's amazing by itself. But enjoy your family as well. Enjoy some downtime, whatever that looks like. But be prayerful, be mindful. Be vigilant. Stay prayed up, ladies. Stay prayed up. And of course, God is good, right?
Yes, He is. All the time. All the time, He's good.
All the time.
All the time.
Storm. He is good. And so, look, you all go away with that. Be blessed. Enjoy your weekend. And guess what? We will see you all on Monday with another amazing guest. So I'm going to rest my voice up, y'all, because I got to get ready.
I'm going to have my tea ready. I'm going to be watching.
Thank you, Shana. Thank you again. I love you. Be blessed. Congratulations on all of your success. Keep moving with the mask because it's a movement. It's definitely a movement where more people, we got to break down the mask. Yes, ladies, I see the effort coming. Effort squad is building. I'm going to get us some shirts that say
I got to get me a shirt. I need a shirt. Yes.
I think I'm going to ask about that. Squad. Y'all ready for some Effort Squad shirts? Let me know.
Look, I'm saying yes right on live. Yes.
Yes. She like yes. When you gonna get it created?
Look,
that's all. I got you covered. Give me a little. I got y'all covered. I ain't gonna put no date on it. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get them. But I love you all, and I will talk to you all on Monday. WWP, let's keep representing. If you all know anyone who's like, hey, you know someone that will be a good fit for our book project, send them on the spots are going like, right? So with that being said, y'all have an amazing weekend. And guess what? I'm Carlika Katrina Basnight-Menendez. Yes, all of that. And I'll talk to you all later. Take care and be blessed.